Well, you're almost done with the book, The Leadership Challenge. I hope it's encouraged you. I hope it's inspired you and challenged you to think about leadership in different ways. And I'm so excited and I'm so appreciative that the authors decided to end with this principle, the idea of encouraging the heart, because leadership is all about relationships. You don't lead brick walls. You don't lead books. You don't lead computers. You lead people. And people have hearts, and people have emotions, and people have needs, and it's all about encouraging the heart. So in this module, Module 6, the chapters that you read will all be about the principle of encouraging the heart. And as I said, leadership is relational. Leaders must be able to encourage and inspire others. Leaders must know and communicate the why, but also know and understand the why of others. So it's the whole idea that, are you just somebody who's doing the job? Are you somebody who's doing the job for an ultimate purpose? The example that I've given before is between two bricklayers. And it's an example that has been given for generations. And it's about two bricklayers. They're both laying brick, and somebody comes up to one and goes, "What are you doing?" And the bricklayer looks at him and goes, I'm laying brick. I'm doing my job. I'm laying brick. And then he goes to the second one. He goes, "What are you doing?" "I'm building this cathedral by laying the brick, which is my job." There is a small differences between the two. Both people were doing their job and probably doing it well. One had the focus of the big picture. Now, why did he have the focus of the big picture? Was it because that the leader encouraged his heart, that reminded him or her that it's important to think through, hey, we're doing this and here's the outcome of this? I think it is that. I think people will naturally respond to people who really seek to help them and encourage them to understand the bigger picture. Leaders are aware of others. Leadership requires empathy. So as you read these chapters, look and see through the stories, through the material, where the gift and the skill of empathy is there, where the idea of emotional intelligence, the emotional IQ is there. Leaders learn how to celebrate others. They don't just celebrate their successes, they celebrate when they fail. Not the idea like, yay, you failed, but yay, what did you learn from that failure? So that you can encourage the heart that it's okay to fail. That failure is not final, it's not fatal. Leaders speak the truth at all times, but they don't cut the truth in half and call it love. Encouragement doesn't always mean be positive. Encouragement means that you're challenging them to get that 1% better. So how does this encourage the heart principle fit in with campus experience? Well, we must speak the truth at all times. So accountability and responsibility, meaning you are there to be accountable to yourself. You are also there to hold others accountable. You are there to be responsible. You are also there to encourage people to be responsible. I think it's also important to celebrate when people do things well. We live in a society that points out, and it's very easy through social media, through comments, through gossip. We point out where people fail and we forget to look for the good in others. Zig Ziglar, who's a leadership guru in the early 1990s, said, make finding the good in others a priority. Let me say that one more time. Make finding the good in others a priority. So you must, as a leader, to be able to encourage the heart, speak truth at all times. Number two, we celebrate the good lessons we learn from the bad. It's okay to fail. I want you to hear that. I know I've said that a lot. It's okay to fail. You are going to fail. You're going to learn from your failures, but don't live in your failures. Don't seek to fail, but seek to get better that 1% every single day. Celebrate what you're learning. Celebrate what the organization is doing. So we celebrate the good, but we also celebrate the lessons that we learn from failure. And as I mentioned at the first, with speaking the truth, go out of your way in this thing. In our job, we have a thing in our team called BZ Commendations. Can I challenge you? Be a person that goes around looking for the good in other people. I heard an analogy once where they were challenging somebody to look for the positives in people, but not cut the negatives out, not cut out the constructive criticism. And they encouraged that individual to put 10 dimes in his right pocket. And he said that every time that you said something like criticism in a good way about somebody, you had to move all the dimes to the left pocket. But by the end of the day, you had to give a positive comment looking for the good. And every positive comment, you can move one dime from the left to the right, from the left to the right. And the goal was by the end of the day, you weren't looking to always patronize people and not tell them the truth, but you were looking to tell them the truth and have constructive criticism, but you were also going out of your way to make sure that they knew that you believed in them, that you had their best interest. And I thought that was a great challenge. I'm not encouraging you to have 10 dimes. A lot of you probably couldn't find 10 dimes. But the idea of that is look for those BZ accommodations. So why encourage the heart? Well, we need to be aware of what has happened so that we can become better. And we need to also be aware of what happens so that we can encourage people to go deeper in their buy-in to the organization, their buy-in to the dream of what we're doing and the ownership of that. We need to encourage people about the why and the purpose of what we're doing. You know, it's the whole idea of, are you just doing the job? Are you doing the job for a bigger reason? Are you just laying brick? Are you building that cathedral? And people don't care what you know until they know that you care. It's an old saying, but people really do not care what you know until they know that you care. So as a leader, and that might be a leader without a position, do you care well for the people around you? Do you care well for the people above you? As a leader who will have a position one day, do you care for the people above you and the people beside you and the people beneath you? Because people don't care until they know that you care. And the whole idea of encourage the heart, that's your job. That's your job as a leader, is to encourage your leaders in their purpose, to encourage the people you're working with. Be that positive person, not the positive person who's like, everything's going great, but the positive person going, I see the trial, but we can get through this if we keep focused together. So I'm going to challenge you in this last principle, really dig deep into the chapters, really dig deep into the videos, and look for ways that you can encourage other people today.